Hi, my name is Randeep and I make videos on how to make easy Indian food. If you're new here, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Today, I'm going to show you how to make masala-filled or spice-filled eggplants. These are going to be the most flavorful eggplants you'll ever eat. I've chopped my potatoes and have them soaking in water so they don't turn brown. So first, we're going to take our mini eggplants and chop off the stem. You want to make sure all of the eggplants are about the same size so that they cook evenly. We're going to make 2 slits about more than halfway down the eggplant, leaving about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. So one going this way and the other one going the opposite direction, making a little crisscross in there, just like so. Now that we've prepared all of the eggplants, we're going to fill them with the masala filling. The potatoes are optional in this recipe, but I really like that extra flavor that they bring to the dish. Okay, so let's get our spice mixture ready. First, we're adding the Amchur powder, which is dried mango powder. It gives the dish a really nice tangy flavor. Now we're adding the Tava Fry Masala, which is a blend of different types of spices to give the dish a warm, wholesome flavor. Next, we're adding the Chaat Masala, which is another blend of spices, and it's a different kind of a tangy flavor than the Amchur powder. Altogether, these spices give the dish a really nice flavor. And now we're going back to our essentials in the masala dabba: the red chili powder, the turmeric powder, salt, and garam masala. You could essentially make this spice mixture with just those 4 ingredients, but the other 3 spices that we added at the beginning, they really add that extra bit of flavor to the dish that you wouldn't get with just adding the garam masala, salt, red chili powder, and the turmeric. So you want to give the spice mixture a really good stir to make sure everything is well combined. You can find all of these spices at the Indian store, but if you'd like to know how to make these at home, leave a comment below and I'll be happy to do a video on this soon. We're finally ready to do our filling. So take your eggplant into the bowl and use a spoon to add the filling into the eggplants. You can shake out the excess, make sure everything is covered well, and then set it aside. I combined my spices in a large bowl just to make this process, the filling process, a little easier. Now I can just shake out all the excess back into the bowl and I don't have to worry about a mess. If you have a little bit of the spice mixture left over after you're done filling all of the eggplants, that's okay. Once the eggplant dish is cooked, we can sprinkle the rest of that mixture on top and it'll taste amazing. And there you have it, our eggplants are ready to be cooked. It did require a little bit of extra work, but the hard work will pay off at the end. Alright, I'm using mustard oil here, so let's add that to the pan. Usually I use ghee, but I find that the mustard oil gives a nice depth of flavor to this dish. So I may have added just a little bit too much oil here, but if you want to know all the accurate quantities for all the ingredients, please don't forget to check the description box below. I like to use tongs to place the eggplant into the pot because I don't want the oil to splatter onto my hand, so please be careful when you're adding them into the hot oil. Once all of our eggplant are in there, we're going to cover this with a lid and wait for 5 minutes to let them cook on one side, and then we're going to have to turn them around and cook on all the other sides as well. So it's been 5 minutes. Let's check what the eggplants look like on the bottom. As you can see, they've caramelized on the bottom. So now we're just going to flip them all around. I know this part seems a little tedious, but it's all worth it at the end, I promise. Once I get the eggplant flipped over, I'm going to cover it with the lid one more time for 5 more minutes. Every time we flip the eggplant, just wait 5 minutes until checking in on them again. In the meantime, in a separate pan, I'm going to be cooking my potatoes. Okay, so let's add a little bit of mustard oil to this pan. I'm using a non-stick pan because I find that it's easier to cook the potatoes without them getting burnt or stuck to the bottom of the pan. Make sure the potatoes are fully coated in the oil, and then we're going to cover it with the lid to let them cook fully. If you want to, you can cook the potatoes in the same pan as the eggplants. Once the eggplants are cooked, remove them from the pan and add the potatoes to the remaining oil, and that'll save you from having to wash another pan. While the potatoes are cooking, don't forget to check back in on the eggplants. So you can see the eggplants are done on both sides that we flipped them onto, and now you're just going to check to see which sides are left uncooked and kind of turn the eggplant onto those sides. This is where you can see why it's important that all the eggplant are about the same size, because some of the smaller ones are cooking all the way through faster than some of the bigger ones. So we'll cover it back with the lid for another 4 to 5 minutes and check back in on our potatoes. They weren't quite cooked to the point that I liked them to be, so I'm covering them again to cook for a few more minutes. As you can see, they look a little bit more translucent now, so I think they're about ready to be done. This is when I add some of my spices. Like I said before, the potatoes are totally optional for this dish, but I do like the texture and the heartiness that they bring to the dish. So I'm adding a little bit of salt, a little bit of red chili powder, garam masala, and turmeric powder. Make sure you give it a good stir. And you don't want to add the spices too soon, especially if you're not using a non-stick pan, because the spices will stick to the bottom of the pan instead of coating the potatoes. Once the potatoes are coated well, cover it with the lid and let's check back in on our eggplants. Give the eggplants a little squeeze with your tongs to see if they're done. If they're completely soft all the way through, that means they are done, but it looks like some of the eggplants still have a little bit of a body to them, so let's let them cook for a few more minutes. And checking in on the potatoes, these seem to be done, so we're going to turn the stove off for the potatoes. Okay, that's the type of consistency you want with the eggplant. When you get that, you can add the potatoes into the same pan just so that they meld, all the flavors meld with one another. Be careful when stirring, you don't want to break the delicate eggplants. And our masala-filled eggplants with potatoes are finished. You can definitely play around with the spice mixture to make this dish your own. I do hope you give this dish a try. Let me know in the comments below how it turns out, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep cooking!